Hello, all you beautiful people out there. What is going on? This is your friend Burdick coming at you fast with another Paragon tips and tricks video. And today we're going to be looking at something a bit more advanced, like a lot of you guys have been requesting. And this video specifically talks about Orb Prime. Now, it doesn't talk about the basics of Orb Prime, alright? A lot of people know what Orb Prime is. They understand that if you go to your well when you dunk it in and you don't have any inhibitors up, they respawn. If you take it to the enemy side and dunk it in there, the entirety of your team gets the Orb Prime buff. Everybody knows what goes on there, okay? I don't have to tell you guys what Orb Prime is. But we're going to be talking about specifically how to counter Orb Prime when the enemy is going for it, okay? When the enemy tries to go and kill Orb Prime because their inhibitor down, like blue team is trying to do right now, how to actually counter that to make sure they don't get it, or to at least make it very difficult for them to get. So right now, the reason they're going for Orb Prime is because they have an inhibitor down, and every time the side that has an inhibitor down is behind, I guess, let's say, they're usually going to be behind, right? If you get your inhibitor down, you want to go for Orb Prime, okay? You want to go for Orb Prime as quick as you can, as soon as you get your inhibitor down, because turning it into your zone is actually going to replenish your inhibitor. Now, I'm going to pause this right here, and we're going to talk about two options that I want to really discuss in detail when dealing with this kind of situation. Now, if you take a look right now at the map, we are the orange team, okay? I'm playing as the Fae in this game, in this replay, and Sevarog and I, we're split pushing this right lane. Now, I wanted to split push this on my own, but Sevarog, solo queue, you never get the most cooperative teammates. So I wanted to split push this on my own, but I noticed that Sevarog wasn't going to move and he was going to stay in this lane, so I decided to go help out my teammates in this Orb Prime fight, which is definitely going to go in blue team's favor if you just think about numbers at this moment in time. You see 4 people right here in blue, and our team over here, orange team, is barely catching up. And our Kalari actually has to back before being useful again because she has such low health. Okay? So obviously the most common method to stop Orb Prime is to fight it. But you usually only want to fight if a couple of prerequisites are met. That's what I mean. You only want to fight this if there's a couple certain things happening on the map. 1, make sure that all of your lanes are pushed. Okay, let's take a look at the map real quick, okay? Orange, we are orange, by the way. This lane right here, middle, pretty good. This lane right here, the inhibitor down, so obviously the super minions are going to be pushing. And then this lane over here, where Sevarog is split pushing, obviously, again, the minions are going to be pushing. So the minions are in our favor in all 3 lanes. Good. That means that we won't lose an inhibitor or something crazy while this is all going on, because you never know. They could have one person split pushing, usually like an Iggy or something, that can actually take an inhibitor in the middle of all it. But that's a very advanced strategy. You won't see too much of that in solo queue, at least, or maybe not even in low platinum elo. I usually don't ever see those kind of situations happen. Usually all 5 people are at Orb Prime. Maybe 1 person backdooring with black. But we're talking about this specific situation right here. So, again, you want to engage only when your map control is good. You have plenty of wards. All right, notice how many wards are on the map right now, how many blue and orange wards are on the map. This is going to, enlighten this entire area, this entire surrounding area right here. So nothing bad can happen. You won't get jumped on. You can pay attention to the map and see if somebody's trying to flank you or not. And so what we are doing here with Sevarog, and why is he split pushing over here while everybody over here is having this crazy ordeal in Prime? Let's go ahead and just play this in slow motion so you guys aren't just looking at a still image. Let's go ahead and play this. We're going to play it in slow motion while I talk about it. So there's 2 ways to deal with it. If you're really confident and you have the advantage when it comes to CP as well, that's the second thing you want to make sure happen, is if you have the advantage in CP, then you can definitely engage if you would like and try and steal the Prime. Now, in this case, we couldn't steal the Prime, and so what we were doing in the other lane where Sevarog is, we're split pushing to try and destroy an inhibitor or weaken an inhibitor to try and push that if they were to manage and succeed to dunk Prime in on their end. But right here, I come through with the cutoff, and I actually end up insinuating a fight long enough for my teammates to show up and actually kill the Sparrow that has Orb Prime. And now, we are able to steal the Prime for ourselves and take it and win the game because of that. So again, The reason we were pushing that lane is to push our minions up to the inhibitor. Let's say if they were going to get that prime and they were going to dunk it in, we would be able to take an inhibitor pretty quickly right after that. And at the very least, we would put minion pressure on this side of the lane right here where Grim is going to have our minions kind of cut them off when they were running and to have some pressure there so we would be able to fight at their well in case, worst to worst came to, to play. So basically, in order to counter Prime, when people take it defensively to get their inhibitors back, you want to press and you want to pressure as much as you can. You want to make it as difficult as possible for the enemy team to take that prime, whether it means fighting at the orb prime itself or pushing up this lane. And I do want to specifically focus on this part of it too, because a lot of people overlook it. A lot of people get so tunnel vision on killing people at this orb prime location that they forget that you can reset and fight over here where the well is itself. You can destroy inhibitors. You can do whatever you like when it comes to that kind of stuff. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. So, again, always have an open mind. Look at other options when it comes to Orb Prime. Now, the same could be said if you're trying to be defensive about it, okay? If the enemy team is taking Orb Prime aggressively, that probably means that they're ahead of you in CP, if it's early enough in the game where people aren't capped out, like right here. And then also, LOL, Kalara getting wrecked. And then also, the fact that their minions are pushed up on the map. So it goes vice versa if you are defending your own core as well. Okay, make sure that you have at least a decent amount of map pressure somewhere, and you don't ever want to force the fight in Prime. Okay, I can't stress this enough. You don't want to force the fight on Prime, okay? Because what a lot of people do is they force the Prime fight, and then they end up dying in the middle of it, and then that's an easy Prime walk-in for the enemy. So never die in the Prime fight unless you know you're going to win the fight, or at least kill most of the enemy team. But the biggest pressure and focus I want to put on this video specifically for those who are a bit more advanced and understand how important Prime fights are is the fact that you can be active in other parts of the map besides the actual Prime zone, and that you should be at least having one other person somewhere push something and apply pressure, especially if you're on the offensive. Or if you're totally ballsy and you know for a fact that you're going to be able to have the advantage in that fight, then group up and fight a 5-on-5 with Prime, especially if, like I said, you have map presence and map pressure, and you're ahead of them in card points. And even a third variable comes into play, and that's a team comp. Now, obviously, if you have like a Decker and Howitzer team comp, something like that, or like a Faye and a Steel, then that Prime fight is going to be way, way easier to win because you have so much crowd control and so much peel, and definitely go that route. But if you have a couple of heroes that aren't too CC focused, then perhaps, trying to apply pressure somewhere else and just try and go for picks and kills that are besides the Prime fight. A lot of people get so focused on the orb that they forget that you can actually still fight the enemy while you are in the well. Like, honestly, I don't understand why people forget about that. You can actually, let's just take a look at this Prime area, for example. If people are down here, they are stuck. You can pinch them from that well, anywhere you want. Howitzer ult coming through, Decker Cage coming through, Faye, whatever, Murdoch snipe. Focus on the enemy, too. That's another way you can do it. While they're so busy on Prime, try to peel someone. Try to pull someone with Grux or a Richter or whatever you have, and kill the enemy. The less of the enemy that you have to worry about, the easier it is going to be dealing with Prime afterwards. So the biggest takeaway from this video, guys, is, again, don't be so close-minded. Don't have crazy tunnel vision when it comes to Orb Prime. Remember that there's still 3 lanes that can be, pressured, and other enemies that can be killed as well. So hopefully I opened up your guys' minds a little bit to it. I see a lot of rookie mistakes. I see a lot of games lost because people pressure Prime too hard and they worry too much about getting that Prime kill, and they rush, and then they just end up losing the game for everyone because of their hastiness. So there you guys have it. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, make sure you all have a wonderful day. Peace, homies.
But it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true.